With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Matthew Bivens, and we are here to talk about having it all. Welcome to the podcast. I am excited for you to join me today in this pretty cool episode. Today's topic was a complete download, totally spur of the moment type of thing. And when I say the word download, I mean like Neo from The Matrix. You know, when he learns Kung Fu, like he literally has it downloaded into his mind. So that's when whenever I say that word, that's what I mean. And today's topic just like downloaded into my mind as I was preparing to record on something totally different. But today, we're going to get a little bit uncomfortable. We're all going to get uncomfortable today. And so it's going to be a cool one. It's going to be a collective experience in conjuring up your own discomfort and stepping into it. And I've got a little bit of a challenge for you at the end of this episode. So it's going to be really, really awesome. But first, let's talk about magic. Why don't we? Yeah, you're freaking magical. You've got so much magic going on in your life, and so do I. And so let's talk about those moments when we influence ourselves, others, and life in an empowering way, because we are always making magic, but we're just not always that aware of it. And I've got two pieces of magic I want to share today. They're both pretty awesome. So the first piece of magic is this past weekend, I took Maya skateboarding, and that was a lot of fun. We, Sarah, Maya, myself, my mom, my sister, and my uncle who was in town, we all went to this really cool feature in Atlanta called the Beltline. It's this beautiful paved pathway, this like walkway that takes you through all these different neighborhoods in the city and ends at the big park called Piedmont Park. And I had this skateboard that I haven't used in a long time. I used to be into skateboarding years and years ago, and I made this skateboard with a friend of mine. We went and bought the wood and bought the trucks and the wheels and all that stuff and actually made these skateboards. So I said, we're going to the Beltline. Let me bring my skateboard. It'll be a perfect day. It was like a beautiful spring day. So we get out there, and Maya was excited, and I plopped her on the skateboard in the front. She was standing up. I was holding her hands, and we were just moving down the Beltline, weaving in and out of people. She was laughing and singing and talking to me. And as you can imagine, we were quite a spectacle as we were kind of going through tons and tons of people on the Beltline. And we had such a magical time. It was just so much fun out there with her and the son and the family. And so it was amazing. That was totally magical. I'm so happy that I felt inspired to grab that skateboard and create this really fun memory with her. And I believe Sarah took some pictures or videos or something like that. So if you're following Sarah on Instagram, then you can probably see some photos. I mean, what is Sarah's Instagram handle? Let me pull it up real quick. I should have been prepared, so I'm going to stall right now. Sarah M. Bivens. Sarah with an H. Sarah M. Bivens on Instagram. And you can see some photos and videos and stuff from us over the weekend. So that was my first piece of magic. My second piece of magic is very cool. And if you're a first-time listener to the show, you might be like, I didn't know that this is the type of podcast. But this piece of magic is Sarah went on a date this past Friday. And it wasn't with me. And what was really amazing about this is that a friend of ours, Sarah and I both know this guy very well, and he approached me. He wanted to take Sarah out on a date, and there's so much love and trust built up between all of us that I was like, absolutely, take Sarah out on a date, have a wonderful time. And this isn't a sexual partner of Sarah's, but this is somebody who definitely loves her, has a lot of affection for her, and he's just a really awesome guy. So when he wanted to take her out, I said absolutely. And what was really magical about it is that he wanted to buy Sarah flowers. And so he asked me to write the note that was going to go in the flowers. So I thought that was incredibly magical, that not only was I there to be able to hold space for Sarah and him to have a really amazing date, but I kind of, put my blessing on it through that note. And I thought it was a really powerful gesture by him, to ask me to write the note. So that was truly amazing. And I sat down and I thought, wow, what am I gonna write in this note? Because obviously Sarah's gonna think the note is from him, but she's gonna open it up and it's gonna be from me. So I put this really beautiful love note in there for her, and she ended up having a truly incredible date. And it just is really like I love the love style that Sarah and I have created, called Abundant Love. And it's added so many blessings to our lives. And Friday was a really great example of that for me, because she was able to go out and do something that her and I may not have done. They went to a comedy show and they went out to dinner, and I like comedy, but I probably wouldn't have thought of going to a comedy show. So she got a chance to go have fun, experience something that she probably wasn't going to experience, have some really awesome conversations, be loved on, have somebody, dote over her, buy her flowers, do all that amazing date stuff. And then she comes home here and she's so filled up with love, her love tank is just overflowing. And then she pours that love onto me and pours that love onto Maya, and it just flows into the weekend. So that to me is magical. It's absolutely magical. And the journey that I've taken to be in this space right now, to be sharing this with you, is something that you can't imagine, because this type of lifestyle, of love style, is the furthest thing that I would have ever thought for myself 4 or 5 years ago. And so now to be sharing that magic for you, I mean, anything is possible, everybody. That's the bottom line. Anything is possible when you open yourself up, when you truly do everything you can to remove your ego, and when you step into your fears. Really, anything is possible. So that's magic for me. That whole thing is magic for me. And if any of this has sparked any sort of interest in you, has piqued your curiosity, I totally recommend you go back and listen to the Abundant Love episodes that I've done. I've done at least 2 of them so far, both with Sarah, where we talk about our love style. One episode, we just talk all about, how we live our lives and our love style and everything. And then the second follow-up to that, it's a Q&A, because a lot of you had a bunch of questions, and so we answered those questions. So go back and check it out if you haven't already. And there's just some really, really cool things out there when you just, hold some space and open yourself up a little bit. Even if it's just to be curious about it, like just to learn what it is, I totally recommend you go check it out. So those are our episodes on Abundant Love.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Grand Canyon University, an affordable private Christian university, is one of the largest and fastest growing universities in the country, offering more than 270 programs online. In addition to federal grants and aid, GCU's online students received nearly $130 million in institutional scholarships in 2022. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer to see the scholarships you may qualify for.
All right, let's flow into listener love because I got a lot of love for you all. I totally do. That's what having it all is, right? An abundant, loving life. So I got a lot of love to pour onto you. And today, this shout out goes to Michael on Instagram. And Michael, man, I appreciate you reaching out and connecting. I'm very humbled that you listen to this show almost every morning as you start your day. That to me is so freaking awesome. I truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you for that. And it's really funny. I looked at your profile on Instagram, and dude, we have like the same dog. I have a white American bulldog. Her name is Ginny, and I saw that you have a white American bulldog on your profile as well. So that's always super cool to be able to connect in more ways than just one. So Michael, again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for taking a moment to connect with me. I truly, truly appreciate it, man. Keep doing big things. If you want to reach out and connect with me just like Michael did, you can do so on Instagram, Matthew_Bivens. That's my handle on Instagram. Or you can hit me up on email, mattcbivens@gmail.com. Hit me up. I'd love to connect. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the show, get your suggestions for future episodes. If you have any scenarios you want some feedback on, whatever. You want to give me feedback, that's awesome. I just love to connect. So do it. All right. Let's get in today's episode. So like I said, this one was a complete download. I was planning a listener email episode because you all gave me some great ideas a couple weeks ago. And this idea just popped in my mind. And I was like, you know what? I was uncomfortable a couple of times in the past week. And there's some specific things that I'm going to do now to work on that discomfort. And I thought, this would be a really great sort of check-in for you to think about where you are really uncomfortable, right? For you to think about a current topic or a scenario or a question, something that has made you uncomfortable recently, and then make a commitment to be less uncomfortable about it. So I want to share these two scenarios that made me uncomfortable, and then I'm going to issue this little challenge. So the first scenario is that I've been doing a lot of work on my personal finances. That's an area where I realize I have a big opportunity to step up, to grow in my maturity, and to really lead my family powerfully in my personal finances and my business finances. And so that's been something that has been on my mind for the past several weeks, really taking charge of my finances. And I've already started to do a couple things. And I was sharing some of the things I've been doing and quite frankly, sharing some of the judgments and internal conversations that have come up for me around this, sharing all that with a friend of mine. And after, she was listening to me, and after I was done talking, she says, I have this financial advisor that's really helped us, to work on our business finances and personal finances. Do you want me to connect you with my financial advisor? And as soon as she asked me that, I'm telling you, I got flooded with discomfort. I got flooded with like this anxious feeling. And it was fascinating because immediately it triggered a whole slew of internal conversations. Like I was saying to myself, oh man, I don't want that because she's going to know how immature I am with my finances. Like she's going to see how much money I make and she's going to judge me for that. And she'll think like, why the hell are you doing that with your money? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you investing over here? Why haven't you set up the savings account for Maya's college yet? Why aren't you opening this sort of account? Why aren't you moving money this way? Why aren't you taking advantage of these tax credits or tax breaks or whatever? And I was like, all of this conversation flashed through my mind the moment that my friend put the question out there, and it really, really made me see in a very like real way, because I was feeling it in my body, just how uncomfortable I am around financial conversations, around financial topics. Like if I'm with a group of my buddies and a number of my friends invest on the side and they start talking about investments and I feel like I have zero to contribute to the conversation, like absolutely nothing. And that makes me uncomfortable. And if somebody questions what I'm doing with my money, that makes me uncomfortable and it makes me defensive. I almost want to like lash out and go on the offensive when somebody says something or asks a question where I feel like they're judging me in a certain way. And it's just one of those things where like you got so many tools, right? I got so many tools and so much perspective on this stuff. Then I could deploy those tools to in those scenarios when I'm feeling uncomfortable, yet I don't. I know that they're not judging me. I know that's my shit. That judgment is all mine. All of the internal conversation that I was saying that this financial advisor was going to have, those things, those comments she was going to make when we talked, those are just all my judgments. And I know that. Yet, when I get triggered like that, it's tough to use my tools. It's tough to have a bigger perspective. And so, that helped me to see, okay, there's a lot of growing to do in this area. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm ready to grow in this area. In the past, I've always wanted to, but I never really wanted to. Let's be real. I wanted to enjoy the fruits of the maturity. I wanted to enjoy the fruits of the work of budgeting and paying attention to my money and, educating myself. I wanted to enjoy all of the consequences of those decisions, but I didn't want to put in the actual work. I didn't want to actually sit down and look at my numbers and stick to a budget and move money when I pay myself. I didn't want to do all that stuff. But now I feel like I'm ready. And even with that, being triggered is not something that I enjoyed. So that was the first situation that came up just a couple of days ago that really stuck out in my mind. The second scenario happened about 2 days later. My uncle has been in town from New York, and he and I were having a conversation, just catching up on all sorts of different things. And I was talking about my fitness. I was talking about health and some of the different things that I do, and the things that I'm working on, and my fitness goals, and the routines I've been doing for the past number of years. And he asked me so casually. He asked me, "How much do you weigh?" And let me tell you, that question just in that moment, all 32 years of my life, in all of not all 32, because I don't remember my weight conversations when I was single digits, but basically 20 plus years of my life, and shame and self-judgment and criticism flooded through my mind when he asked me that simple question, "How much do you weigh?" Because for years, since I was in middle school, I have been ashamed of my size. And for me, that shame has come from being slim. I'm slim and I'm light for my frame. I'm about 6 feet tall and I oscillate between 155 and 160. And telling you all that right now, I'm like, shit, I wonder what everyone's going to think. And that those little judgment conversations are live in my mind right now as I tell you. And it's one of those things that I'm working on embracing and accepting myself. And that's an area where I am just seeing more and more the judgment that I hold towards myself. And I recognize how far back it goes. I mean, I've shared different examples of, I'm almost positive I shared it on this podcast, where I remember a girl in sixth grade. That's middle school, right? Yeah, sixth grade. Said I had skinny ankles. And that was the first time that I remember somebody commenting on my physical body and saying it in a way where I perceived that there was something wrong with me. It was like, wait, I'm not supposed to have skinny ankles? What do you mean I have skinny ankles? And then either that same girl or somebody else asked me if I had an older brother, because she was like, "You're cute, but you just look small and young." And man, I just started wearing on all these beliefs about my body. And that's middle school, right? I was 11 years old. And so when my uncle asked me, "How much do you weigh?" It just, all of that, from that 11-year-old to being told it got skinny ankles, all the way up to a 32-year-old who is just, can ebb and flow between absolutely loving my body and embracing my body and being frustrated by it and wanting to, drink protein and work out like crazy and eat a bunch of, double, triple meals and all of this stuff to gain weight. So that when someone asks me, how much do you weigh? I feel more comfortable with my answer. So it was incredibly fascinating. And it's just funny because, I play this game called the Your Day Balance game. It's a health and fitness game, just powered by love and balance. And a big part of the Your Day Balance game is your fitness. It's one of the 3 different dimensions, fitness, the fitness dimension. And so I take this game day, this physical assessment. I've been doing it every 3 months for 6 years. I have a bunch of data. And over those 6 years, I've climbed from beginner to intermediate to advanced to pro. I'm at the pro level right now in my fitness, in my physical fitness. According to Your Day Balance game, I'm at the pro level. That's level 4 out of 5. The top level is all-star, and I'm 1 level below that. I'm at pro. And I have all this data that shows how strong I am, that shows how fast I am, that shows how athletic I am. All of this data. And when I'm in my moments of not loving on myself, the data does not matter at all. It just doesn't matter because of all of the conditioning that I've done that has been going on for much longer than 6 years. Like my default setting kicks in when I'm in that moment of feeling defensive. When somebody asks me, how much do you weigh? The default kicks in and it squeezes out all of the facts, right? And it's just so fascinating how that happens with me. And I imagine it happens with you too. And when my uncle asked me that question, it was in a flash. But what was really cool, and I could have shared this as magic, when he asked me that question, for maybe the first time in my entire life, I was honest with him. I said, about 155. And let me tell you this, whenever somebody in the past has asked me my weight, I almost always have added 10 pounds. Almost always. I started doing it consciously, and then it just became a subconscious thing that I would do. They would ask me, and I would just probably add about 10 pounds based on where I thought I was. But for probably the first time in my life, when he asked me that this past weekend, I told the truth. And so I'm like, man, looking back on that, I was totally triggered. I felt so uncomfortable. That's always been a conversation that has triggered me and had me feeling so uncomfortable. And that leads me to this topic today, because as I was preparing for my original episode, I'm like, you know what? These 2 interesting scenarios popped up. And I imagine the folks listening to Having It All have also had some really interesting scenarios pop up in their lives recently.
Looking for a new career? Welcome to Do HVAC Training Service Center in North Charleston. Enroll today in our comprehensive HVAC training hands-on field experience-based program, covering troubleshooting, maintenance, installation, and more on various HVAC systems and ductwork. We offer EPA and NAEP preparation and testing, along with various certifications. Enjoy payment options. Achieve certification in under 5 months. Enroll now for your new journey of skill development and career advancement. Log on to dewhvactrainingsc.com to inquire.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
So I want to ask you, and I want you to think about this for yourself. What simple questions or what scenarios or what conversations have you recently had that have triggered some big discomfort within you? What's something that's happened in the last few days or the last few weeks that upon reflection, you realize that it's a topic that you really don't like discussing? You're like, I don't want to even go there. And take a moment, honestly, take a moment to think about it. And, maybe it hasn't been the last day or a week or whatever, but think back. You know what they are. Think of 1, at least 2, however many you want to. But think of those things, those moments when you've been triggered and you just felt really uncomfortable and you've wanted to lie. You've wanted to lie, or you've wanted to deflect, or you've wanted to deny the help, or you've wanted to stay in denial. You wanted to do whatever you naturally go to in order to avoid the topic. Right? Because when my friend asked me, "Hey, do you want the financial advisor?" I could have said, "No, I think I'm gonna, do this one my way." Whatever. I could have said no. I could have refused the help because I felt uncomfortable with what I believed that person was going to ask me. And when my uncle asked me about my weight, I could have lied instead of telling him accurately what my weight was and potentially be judged by him. Which, by the way, he didn't judge me at all. He was just curious. And so I want you to think about it. What are some conversations or what are some topics that you've been triggered by recently that have created discomfort? I really want you to think about the things that have made you really uncomfortable because somebody was going to learn something about you. You were going to be exposed in some type of way. So you can pause this episode if you want right now and think about it for yourself. And then once you do, I'm going to issue you a challenge. I'm challenging you to be bold here today. And now, if you know that you don't want to be challenged, if you just really are not interested in being challenged and pushing yourself, then turn off the episode right now. Just turn it off. You've already gotten something out of hearing my scenarios and it brought something up within you. So great, you got your value. And if you really don't want to be challenged, because I'm about to issue you a challenge, if you don't want to be challenged, just turn it off right now. Seriously. Otherwise, by continuing to listen, what you're doing is you're saying that you're open. You're open to feeling confronted by what I'm about to ask you to do. So, I want you to do a couple things. Once you have that single scenario or that single topic or whatever, however many things in your mind that you know make you feel really, really uncomfortable, I want you to message me. I want you to share them with me. Share with me the things or the one thing, 1, 2, whatever, that have made you really, really uncomfortable recently. The way that I've shared with you, share with me. That's the first thing. The second thing that I'm challenging you to do is to commit to doing something about it for the rest of the week. I want you to commit to minimizing that discomfort for yourself in whatever area that it's been coming up. I want you to make a commitment from this episode, Tuesday through Sunday. That's going to be 6 days. You pick whatever it is that you want to do, but it's got to be something related to your area of discomfort that as you do it, you feel less and less uncomfortable, or you feel more and more comfortable. So, for example, for me, for the financial question, I'm going to set an appointment with my friend's advisor. I've already texted her and asked her for the name of the advisor. And as soon as I get it, I'm going to set that appointment. And I'm also going to commit to looking at my numbers and looking at my budget every day for the rest of the week. Just looking at them. Just popping open my bank account, seeing where the numbers are at, going back into Mint. That's what I use to track my numbers and reconciling some of those transactions, or going into my budget and updating my budget. I'll do one of those things, whatever it is. I'm just going to look at my numbers every day for the rest of the week because I really want to minimize the discomfort that I feel and have felt when somebody's asked me anything related to my money. That's what I'm going to do for the financial trigger. And for the body weight one, I'm going to affirm myself in the mirror every day, nude, for the rest of the week. I'm going to stand there in my birthday suit. I'm going to look myself up and down. I'm just going to give myself some love. I'm going to affirm my body. I'm going to talk about what I love about my body. And that is going to be how I address the discomfort with my weight. So that's the type of thing that I want you to commit to. You don't have to actually necessarily tell me your commitment. I'm simply providing myself as an accountability partner to you. So if you want to reach out and tell me your commitment, cool, that's fine. But I want you to reach out and let me know, what is that thing that has made you feel so uncomfortable? You know, what has it made you feel so uncomfortable? And then either for yourself or you can share with me, what are you going to commit to doing for the rest of the week to minimize that discomfort? And if you're really bold, here's a third thing that you can do. If you're really feeling bold, if you're like, yeah, this is the time that I want to start feeling better about this area of my life. It's been so long. It's been years and years and years. I'm feeling inspired by this message, Matthew, and I want to do something extra for it. Then join the Trust Challenge Facebook group and post in the group the thing that makes you feel uncomfortable and what you're going to be doing to minimize that discomfort. Let the group hold you accountable to it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing when you lean on a group of people for accountability and also for support. And one of the things that you get from sharing in a group like the Trust Challenge group, you'll realize that all the judgments that you have about this thing, nobody else is judging you about it. 0 people are going to be judging you about the thing that you feel uncomfortable about, the thing that you are judging yourself on. Nobody else is judging you. Partially because to everybody else, it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. And then also because everybody else is so busy judging themselves on their own shit. They're really not even paying attention to you. And that's the illusion that we have. We believe that, yeah, I'm judging myself on this stuff and everybody else is judging me too. It's like when my uncle asked my weight and I shared with him. He didn't say anything. He just was like, oh, okay, cool. There was no judgment. But of course I thought he was going to judge me. And the reason is because I was judging me. So, you're feeling bold today, reach out to me, message me on Instagram, or email me. Instagram is Matthew_Bivens, and my email is mattcbivens@gmail.com. And share with me what you feel triggered by lately. What was that thing that you felt really, really uncomfortable about? Do that, number 1. Number 2, make a commitment for yourself to do something about it every day for the rest of the week. You pick whatever it is you want to do, but just commit to doing something that's going to minimize the discomfort. And then 3, if you're feeling really bold, join the Trust Challenge Facebook group. You can just go into Facebook and search Having It All Trust Challenge Crew. That's the name of the Facebook group. Join it. I'll let you in there. And then you can share in the group. Hey, this is the thing that has made me uncomfortable, and this is what I'm going to do about it. And you'll just see all the love that the group will pour on you. So yeah, that's the challenge for today. And if you're still listening, then I hope you feel confronted. I do, because you know what? If you do, that's just an area of opportunity for you. The same way that I have an area of opportunity when it comes to my personal finances and my body image and my self-love. You know, I can love on myself more. I can be putting more intention into my finances so that I don't have to feel uncomfortable when somebody asks me a really simple question. That's the thing. We don't have to feel so confronted. You don't have to feel so anxious. You don't have to feel so tense when someone just asks you a question, or when a scenario pops up, or when an opportunity comes across your desk, or whatever it is that triggers you. You don't have to feel so triggered. You don't. You can do something about it. And I'm inviting you to join me in doing something about it. This isn't a big, sign up on my email list and you're going to get a bunch of emails. None of that stuff. This is just a really informal challenge that is coming straight off the top of my head that I'm like, listen, let's just do something about this stuff because we're about having it all. And in order to have it all, you got to do some shit. You got to take some action. You do. This isn't a passive thing where you just sit back and you wish for things and you expect stuff to happen. No, you got to lean into those things that make you feel uncomfortable. And this is a beautiful opportunity to do that. So join me in selecting 1 or 2 things that are really making you feel uncomfortable lately and doing something about it. I would love, love, love to be able to support you, to help hold you accountable if you need a little bit of extra boost of accountability. So reach out to me, and whatever you choose to do, I just hope that by the end of this week, you feel better about whatever area has been causing you some discomfort. I hope that you feel just at least 1 ounce better. That would be amazing. Because that 1 ounce of anxiety you're going to free up, you can now put that energy towards something else. It opens up a space, and you can let something empowering and loving and healing enter that space and really create something magical in your life. Because that's all that we're doing by holding on to these things that make us feel so uncomfortable. It's just keeping our energy blocked for those truly, truly amazing, abundant, loving things that want to enter into our lives. But we're so closed off, we're so blocked off, we're so in our fears that we're not allowing these things to flow into us. So let's open up, let's flow, let's love on ourselves, and let's take one step closer to feeling more comfortable about the awesome people that we are. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for just hanging out with me and listening to this kind of crazy but totally awesome episode. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to holding the space for you, and I appreciate you being bold. My name is Matthew Bivens, and I continue to hold the space for you to have it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal, physical, or mental health.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.